Hey Candace, Jess should be coming on soon. I've just invited her, so we're just waiting for Jess to join us. Nice, Candace. Hey Ariana. Okay, let me see. Jess, I've accepted your request. Let's just see. Oh, there you go. Hey, how's
Hello.
it?
Hello. Sorry, you're in my ears and it's a bit louder than I thought it was.
No, all good. How's it going?
There we go. Good and you?
Good. Yours, this live came up very
Yes,
fast, eh?
I know. I feel like it was yesterday we were saying, shall we do one at the end of April? And it felt like months
Yes.
ago, and now here we are.
It shows you how quickly this year's
I
gone by, eh, Jess?
know it's absolutely scary.
And I mean, the amount of stuff that you got done last year as well.
Yes.
I thought it was just nice to maybe get a catch up, maybe
Yeah.
also bring some of our followers to your network, some of your followers to our network.
Yes.
So I just wanted to give a brief introduction. My name's Daniel Marsh. I'm the founder of a business called Marsh Fidelity. We specialize in wills, estates, and trusts. We were founded in KZN. And today we're joined by Jes Foord. Is it Jes Foord or Jes Foord?
Ford like the car.
Jes Foord, who's the founder of the Jes Foord Foundation, which is an incredible foundation that helps prevent and protect sexually abused survivors in our community. Jess has got her own story, which is a difficult one that she went through, but I think the main story about Jess's life is the incredible work that her foundation has done over the last 15 years. We were involved in some of her initiatives last year, namely the Carnival, which was an incredible success. I just think it's incredible, Jess, how you are able to bring a community together.
Thank you.
I've really never seen something to that impact. Like the Carnival, it was the first time you had ever done something like that. And the amount of support that there was incredible. So, Jess, if you just want to share a bit about your initiative, what you do, and yeah, what you got planned for this year.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's 17 years this year, actually,
Sure.
which is, yeah, I know it's flown by. We do
Yeah.
need to update our website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think as far as community goes, I mean, I'd love to take credit for it, but I really think we're just so blessed to have such an incredible community.
Yeah.
That I mean, when my rape happened in 2008, the
Yeah.
community rallied like you cannot believe behind us. They were at the court dates, they were at the
Sure.
bail hearings, they were at absolutely
Yeah.
everything. So I mean, the Upper Highway community is I say the best community.
Yeah. And I mean, Jess, even with that, sometimes we don't even realize how special our community is until
100%.
something hectic happens, and then all of a sudden we see this is such an incredible force behind us.
And I think we've seen that again and again with the we've had the riots, we've had the floods.
Yes.
And this community has just been unbelievable. They always come together when needed, and
Yeah.
it really is. It's an honor to live in this community. And I mean, I've lived here my whole life, so
Yeah.
so I'm maybe a little bit biased, but I don't care. So with the carnival, we were actually trying to run the numbers for one of our sponsors that are hopefully going to sponsor the food again this year, and we were trying to work out how many people were there, and we worked it out that there was probably over 3,000 people that attended that carnival last year.
First time you've done it.
First time ever. First time ever.
Sure.
It's a little team of us. There's 5 girls, and we just got together and we thought, let's do this. Candace, it was Candace's idea. She said she wants to do this for the children. Let's do it in Child Protection Week.
Yeah.
And yeah, we threw this thing together in, I think it was like 2 months. We decided to do this. And I mean, I had people coming up to me on the day saying, is this going to be a monthly event?
No. I was like, yeah.
Definitely not. So yeah, we've decided definitely to do it annually.
Yeah.
It will be held at Fulton again this year. They've very kindly allowed us to use the field again. So
Oh,
thank you so
that's
much to
awesome.
Fulton for that.
Yeah.
They've given it to us at no charge, which is incredible. So we will be holding it at Fulton again. It's pretty much going to be a copy and paste of last year.
Yeah.
We are so looking forward to it. I think the biggest thing for me was it felt like I was going back in time.
Yeah.
Just to see families coming together, to see the parents actually doing the games with the children, and the parents were able to sit on the side and have a voice roll while the kids ran around and enjoyed themselves. And
Yeah.
every single entrance and exit had security on it. The children were safe.
Yeah.
The people were safe. It was just an incredible environment. And to see kids playing,
And the
outside
laughter.
on these,
And I
the
mean,
laughter, the giggles, the fire engine, the ambulances, it just I felt like I'd gone back in time.
yeah.
I really enjoyed every second of it.
That's the thing about community events. The energy is a bit different when you're doing it for a good cause. And when people are working together, there's so much that can get done. And Jess, as you would understand, when you're doing big events, it's never perfect.
No.
But that's where the perfection is.
Yes.
It's like you can have all these plans, but the fact that you're just saying yes and getting into something like that,
100%.
even if there's stuff like if the food runs out, because I think the food did run out at one stage. Yeah, but people they were just like, oh, okay, well, let's go to the next game. And I mean, even the way the day started, that prayer circle.
Oh, that was incredible.
I mean, that's just such a nice foundation. Yeah, to start the day like that. I mean, and I think it was Candace that prayed.
Yeah.
And it was such a powerful force to start that day with.
I think Candace and I were both in tears.
Yeah.
It was just the most, to just see, I mean, as we were standing there just holding hands, just saying, please can this day go well.
Yeah.
And then as we finished and we opened our eyes and looked up and we just saw all these people started coming down the hill. And I've got goosebumps again now.
Yeah, and it was such a private little field as well. Such a cool little location. It's like in the middle of billets.
But safe and
yes.
the perfect size. Everything just worked perfectly, and it really was a great. I mean, even down to, again, community, when we ran out of food twice.
Yes.
We had the market stall people saying, come on, people, come to us. We've got food for you this side.
Yes.
And we ran out of prizes for the kids because we didn't anticipate so many people. So people from the market side were donating prizes for the kids.
Yeah.
It was just incredible to see the entire community come together. And I mean, we heard there was also people coming up from Belito. There were people from Maritzburg.
Yeah.
So it was just such a special time for the community and for the families. I think it was something that we really needed, was just a wholesome place for families to get together.
And what's nice, Jess? It's nice to actually have it once a year, because it kind of loses a specialness if we do it monthly.
Exactly.
And when we decided to come on board, I went there just with 2 chairs and I did that bottle toss thing, but I had no umbrella or no stands. I called my dad on the weekend. I said, Dad, please, it looks like it's going to be hot today. Can you bring something?
Yes.
And it kind of that's how the whole day worked. We all
100%.
hustled, and we all had the hearts to let's make this fun for kids and for families. And I mean, even the fire trucks that you got involved, Jess.
Yeah,
they don't often do that.
No. So to have them, and I mean, I've asked them again this year, and there was no sort of, maybe, or it's a hassle. 100% they were on board. And also what I really loved about the fire department is they sent in a woman driver. So the lady it was a woman driving the fire truck. So these kids were especially for young girls, to see, it's not just a job for men.
Yes, exactly.
It was incredible. And then we had the ambulances there from
the dog shows.
It was just the dog show. And also my favorite part was the community games, the sack races, the egg and spoon, the tug of war.
Like you said, back in time, Jess, we don't see that anymore.
You don't. You really don't. And also, as far as just getting people to do the stalls like yourself, and it was a mad scramble. It was this idea we had, and everybody we asked just said yes.
Yeah.
And we were anticipating. They said, sort of, how many people? I thought, maybe work on 150 prizes.
Yeah.
3,000 people later.
Oh.
It was incredible, and the kids were having fun. It was just such a special day. So I really cannot wait for this year.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people to know as well that your foundation relies on events like this and for donations so that you can continue doing the work that you do.
100%.
And I love like the words that you said in the past where you said like you're not here to kind of prevent sexual abuse, you want to kind of stop it.
Yeah.
You don't just want to be someone that cares for people after the event.
Yeah.
Your heart is actually to try and stop it altogether or as best as you can. And I think the work you're doing, like the Young Men's Foundation, where you go into like the community and look at young kids for leadership, I think it's so important because whenever I think of a strong community, I think of a safe community. And to be able to build strength in a community helps with confidence, not only of little boys, but of girls. And you want girls to be confident enough to wear what they want, to express themselves in a way that they feel comfortable. And that will build basically their whole future in a sense that they can proceed with confidence. Because often if we don't have confidence, we lose out.
Yes, yeah. And I think it's also, the society at the moment has very much sort of scrutinized men and made, this whole men are bad. And I think it's also important, especially for us with our mentorship program, as you mentioned, is to go out there to the communities and say to men, just because there are one or two bad men out there, doesn't mean you have to play into this. You can be a good person, and just to uplift these boys and give them the power and the strength to go forward and feel motivated to want to be good people. Because society is constantly telling them they're bad, so why should they be good? So it's for us to say to them, you can be a good person, you can go out there and help young women, you can help your mom hang up the washing, you can be a good person in general. So I think it's very important to motivate and uplift the young men as well. And also, as far as education goes, for us, we go into schools as little as 3 years old and educate them on good touch and bad touch. And so many people hear that we do these talks and they think, oh no, I don't want that at my school. My child doesn't need to know that sort of stuff. And I think the stats are sitting at 93% of abuse or sexual assault, the person is known to the victim. So it's not this whole stranger danger that everybody thinks, well, I keep my child safe. It's happening under your noses. I mean, the amount of cases we hear where it's an uncle and it happened when they were sitting on the same couch as their family member, but it was happening under the blanket and they were told if they say anything, they'll be in big trouble. So, and we teach our children to respect their elders.
Exactly.
Sorry.
That's part of an Instagram live, yes. Let's accept it. That's cool.
That's our Zoe.
No, you raised a good point, and she said, I agree.
Yes, she did. So, yeah, I think it's just important to be able to educate young children that their voice is their power. They can say no if they want to. And just because we say you have to respect your elders, they need to understand what that means. So if someone says to them, no, you can't do this or you can do that, they need to understand why they are able to say no if it makes them uncomfortable. Sorry, I think there's monkeys. Africa. So Zoe loves the monkey. She wants to play with them.
But Jess, I think what's also good is that you're being so intentional about what you're doing. And I think we also need to mirror that, especially with young kids in the house. We need to be intentional and not kind of close a blind eye to stuff that could actually protect them. So like your talks at schools, I think me and my wife actually went to one in Perth. And it was such an incredible talk because it was so eye-opening. And I think that is education in essence, is to open our eyes so that we can also protect each other through it.
100%. And I mean, we offer school talks right from, as I say, 3 years old, right through to matric. We do awareness talks at universities, and we also do parents talks. So we go into the schools and we invite the parents to come in to know what the signs are to look out for, how to help your child if something like this has happened to them. But I mean, we always find that the people that come are the parents that don't actually need to be there. They are the ones who do care enough for their children. The fact that they've taken the time to come out and listen to the talk shows that they care enough about their children as it is. But it really is. It's important to be able to get these messages out there to parents and to the kids so that they understand. I mean, the amount of high schools we go in and talk to, and we find the girls will come up afterwards and they'll go, you know, this happened to me when I was younger. It happened my cousin or the neighbor or whatever, and I didn't know it was wrong.
Sure.
And these are girls in high school who are very well educated.
Yeah.
It's just the way they've been told about it and the things that have been said and the way it's been done. They've thought, well, maybe it was my fault, or I didn't say no, so it's my fault. Or, you know, it only comes to light in high school, and it's just so important for these kids to know what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah, and you know, Jes, like there's so much power in knowledge, and that you reduce the amount of vulnerability you're exposed to. Because like you said, if you're not fully educated in something or you're not fully aware of it, you become more vulnerable to sort of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that reducing vulnerability actually really helps with confidence as well. Again, everything that you're doing is kind of working in a circle of building confidence, encouraging youth to speak. I think it's so important, and it's a big struggle in South Africa, especially because a lot of people don't have a voice. And you are teaching people that you actually have a voice, you have power. And I mean, I know you've got a mile, is it a mile a day in May?
A K a day.
A K a day in May, and that's starting as of 1 May.
1st of May, yes.
Okay, cool.
So people,
yeah, how can they sign up for that?
Yeah, so it's on our Facebook, it's on our Instagram. There's a WhatsApp link.
Yeah.
No, sorry, a Zapper link.
Yes.
You click on the link, it takes you straight through. It's 350 Rand for the month, and actually, this is last year's one, but you get a K a day in May cash.
Oh, nice.
Peak cash for free. For the first 100 signups.
Yeah.
And this year we've got our main sponsor is Collagen for Athletes. So we've got some awesome prizes from them. We've also got Run Collective are sponsoring some prizes. We've got
awesome.
Socks are sponsoring a few prizes. So we're going to have, it's going to be a lot more exciting this year. Again, last year was our first one, and I think we had over 400 and something signups, which we didn't expect.
Yeah.
So this year we've made it more exciting. We're going to have like weekly challenges. Who can make the most exciting map on Strava, or who can do the most outrageous kilometer, you know, like roll a kilometer or half a kilometer or whatever. So there's going to be prizes every week for that. And we are kicking off the K a day in May at Run Collective's 1-year anniversary. They are in Hillcrest, next to Lineage, opposite McDonald's, ironically. So I will be there on the morning of May. I think the walk will start at 8 o'clock. So they're doing, I think, a 5K run. But for those who don't want to do the 5K, I will be doing a 1K. So maybe to McDonald's. But and so the reason we've done this K a day in May is also focused around the children. It is Child Protection Week at the end of May, so we do it for the month. And all of our funding raised from that will go towards our child counseling sessions. We had the horrible reality check again this last month when we were tallying up our Tutuzela Center lists that there was an 8-month-old baby. So that, again, it just, you know, we get these checks. It's horrific. There's pages and pages of people that have been raped, but to see 8 months written there, along with 1 year and 2 years and 7 years, and it's just, it's absolutely horrific.
It's mind-boggling, Jes, to think about.
I can't fathom it, how a person can do that to an 8-month-old baby. So that's why we do the K a day in May, and then we dedicate, every day is dedicated to one of our child survivors. And we will put up information every day regarding where to go if you have been raped, you know, signs to look out for, the closest Tutuzela Center. So every day there will be very important information that we will put out, and we pledge to people that if you have signed up for K a day or not, to share that information during that that month, so that we can spread that information out there, and hopefully more people will be able to get that information.
Do you still do care from your offices in Hillcrest? Like you do counseling there?
We do. We offer free counseling services to not just to the survivor, but also to family members or friends or anybody that was affected by it, because we just feel it's so important. You know, how are you supposed to heal in an environment where your family are not coping either?
Especially when you're so young, Jes, you don't understand what the implications are of what's happening.
So we also do court prep, where we will sit and explain how the whole court procedure works, because it's also very daunting to have to go to court
Yeah.
and to have to deal with those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, our offices are in Hillcrest. They're in the Colony Centre above Hazmart and the Blood Bank.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are open every day during the week from 8 to 4, and obviously we have our emergency line that people can contact should they need help to get to a Tutuzela Centre.
And Jes, you also do, if someone has unfortunately been affected, you do the handbag project as well, which
so
it's kind of comfort immediate.
Yes, so we give out 400 handbags every single month.
Sure. Every month, Jes.
Every single month we give out 400 handbags. 60% of those are for children under the age of 12. So we have our handbags and we have our kiddie packs.
Sure, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't service everybody.
Didn't you say you started off with like 20 or?
Yeah,
and then it just grew.
It slowly grew, but we still don't service all of the Tutuzela centers, and we don't service enough. But we've had to cap it at 400. This month we actually can't give any ladies' handbags out. We don't have the physical handbags. So if anybody is out there that is listening that has a handbag, it can be used. But please just remember who's receiving it on the other end. So don't give us a handbag that you want to throw out. Give us a handbag that is still in very good condition. And so the way we explain it is, it's the first step of, we fill it with toiletries. So we fill it shampoo, conditioner, toothbrush, toothpaste, body lotion, face cloth, sanitary towels. And then the kiddies one has got coloring in book, crayons, sanitary pads, toothbrush, toothpaste, and soap. And we say it's the first step of getting clean on the outside, to then help you start your journey to get clean on the inside. We're not saying that handbag is going to fix everything. But what the handbag does do is enable them to shower, because you're not allowed to shower or bath or sometimes even go to the toilet before you've been examined and the rape kit has been done. So you desperately want to get clean after that. So it's to enable them to get clean after the examination. And I mean, a lot of the people receiving these bags, it's the first handbag they've ever had in their life. It's the only bar of soap that they've got within their home. So it's a very special program. But please, this month we haven't been able to give out any adult bags because we do not have handbags in stock.
So we need all followers, all listeners. I mean, even just a few of them
honestly,
give a handbag each.
If we have 100 people that have one handbag sitting in their cupboard that they haven't used in 5 years,
or donate cash to Jes Foord Foundation.
So to pack a fully packed handbag, it's 250 Rand. For us to get the bag, get everything that goes in it, and distribute it. So.
Well, I'm going to distribute to our network as well, because I think it's such an important initiative, and I think, to have comfort after trauma like that, you can't really put a value on that, and 250 Rand isn't a lot.
No. And also, just to put people's minds at ease as well, the reason we have the stats that we do about these children is that for every bag we give, it is numbered, and it goes to the various Tutuzela centers. We do not replace the bags until we have got our filled in form given back to us, and each case has a case number so that we can correlate our handbags with the case number. Obviously, excuse me, we don't release any other information, but it's for a case that we know that those people are receiving the bags and they're not being stolen or given out or to the wrong people. Every single handbag has a case number situated with it. So it's
Jes, I think like your story is like really inspiring to young women especially, and I think what's important about your story is that if something horrible like that happens to you, it's not the end of your story, and there's 100%. So much impact you can have. And often when we go through moments of grief, I went through my own grief when I lost my mom and brother in an accident, and I for a long time actually thought that was the end of my story. I kind of lost all my love with them, but I got to a point where I realized that we need to actually be lights in the world because we're here for a reason. And I think that's why I always say when I hear Jes Foord, I just think of the light that you provided over the last 17 years. And that incident isn't your story. No. Your story is actually the work and the community that you're bringing together. I always come back to that carnival because I also got goosebumps on that day because I never felt a sense of belonging in a community like I did that day. I'm originally from Zim. I'm also used to old school stuff like that. And like, I felt like I belonged in that moment. I think everyone did.
Yeah.
And I think it's moments like that that make our community so special. But I wanted to ask, have you heard of any girls that have kind of been through similar situations that you've maybe helped and that are now also making a difference in some way?
Yeah, I mean, we've had lots of girls who have come forward and, you know, are speaking out for the first time, and to then go and share that story with friends and family. And I think the more people that share their story, the more people come forward.
Yeah.
And I actually watched an Instagram reel the other day, and it was a lady who had, I think it was in America, and she was doing a presentation, and she asked women, she said, if you or somebody you know has been sexually assaulted, please stand up. And there were about 5 women. It was a huge hall, and about 5 women were left seated.
Sure.
And then they said how many people received help or reported it.
Yeah.
And please stay standing. And half of them sat down. And it just shows that so many people suffer alone in silence. And as soon as you come forward and share your story, you are able to help somebody else.
It's a release.
And 100%. And by your bravery and your willingness to share your story enables the other people to share their story. So whether you've helped one person by sharing your story or you've helped 100 people, it doesn't make any difference. That you've made a difference in that person's life. And that is what is so important, to be able to. And also, I mean, I know it's different for everybody, but you've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So why are we suffering in silence? Why are we ashamed of what happened to us?
Yeah.
Why are we not standing tall and going, this happened to me and I'm still here?
Yes.
And I'm proud of who I am, and I'm proud of what I've done.
Yeah. And watch what I'm going to do with my life.
Exactly.
I'm not going to think with this.
Yeah. And I mean, since I've been doing this work, the amount of people, I think I actually don't know a person that hasn't been affected in some way. I think of all of my friends, they've all had some sort of incident happen to them. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, a rape. It's I know one of my friends, one of her things was she was in a lift, and she was in the lift alone, and the guy went up to her and grabbed her chest and then just stood back.
Sure.
And, you know, she says she never said anything, she never did anything. It was just she was in so much shock.
Yeah.
And that is a sexual assault.
Yeah.
That is, you know, and these things happen to women and men all the time, and we just brush it off and think, oh well, you know, nothing. You know, I wasn't hurt. It was innocent.
Yeah,
but it's not, and we need to.
And you need to call
it like
out in the moment. Yes, you need to, like, if you educate on boundaries and that happens, often we're in so much shock we don't say anything, like you said. But if you've been educated, you can call it out and say, hey, like what you've done is completely, what's wrong with you?
And make that person feel like the idiot.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. And I think, it's very, very important to be able to say it out loud, and because when the person's doing it, they're doing it to belittle you, to make themselves feel more powerful, you know. So if you turn around and go, what are you doing?
Yes.
And then they're going to feel embarrassed. They're going to feel awkward. So, and also something that I know I say it over and over and over, but it really is so important to me, and I think it's something that needs to be heard, is that everybody's pain is valid. Everybody's trauma is valid. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. The amount of people who'll come to me after they've heard me speak, and they'll say, oh, Jess, you know, something happened to me, but it's nowhere near as bad as what happened to you.
Yeah.
And I go, no, it is.
Your
trauma is just as valid.
Yeah.
That person who had their chest grabbed in the lift, the trauma they experienced is the same as the trauma I experienced, because they haven't been through what I've been through. So that was the worst thing that had happened to them in that moment.
Yes.
So scientifically, biologically, all of the science is your body reacts the same. Your body your body is not my body. So your body is not experiencing or doesn't know what I had experienced in that moment. So it's still a trauma. Yes. So your trauma is valid, and you are allowed to seek counseling. You are allowed to speak out about it. You are allowed to, you know, stand tall. It doesn't mean because yours wasn't a gang rape, it's not important. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Everybody's trauma is valid, and whether it's a car accident, whether it's a hijacking, whether it's a attempted robbery, whether it's it doesn't matter what it is. it's valid. Your pain is valid. Your feelings are valid, and you have a right to get counseling.
Yeah, that's so true. And also just the courage to speak out. It does, like you said, if it's a small incident or big incident, it doesn't matter because it affects everyone in the same way. And the courage to speak out. And I don't know if you saw in the news, there was that French lady. It was the first time in history, I think, in France where she could have done it privately because they often try and protect the victim. And she made a call to say, I'm going to make this a public trial. To expose and to show that I'm still strong. And it's exactly what you're talking about. She had courage to say, I'm not going to hide. I'm actually going to show you how strong I am. And you there, Jess?
Yeah. Sorry, it froze there for a moment.
No, all good. So I think the importance is also to speak out and to be able to feel like you're safe in a space where you can share. And I think that's where your counseling is very important, and having you in the community to say, Jess's office is just in Hillcrest. If I need to get something off my chest, maybe I don't know how to, let me go chat to someone there.
Yeah. And I think Candice has just commented there, and I think it's also so important to bring up is during June last year, we did the No Shame in Your Pain campaign. And we asked survivors to come forward and share their stories. And the amount of responses we had, it was unbelievable. Of women coming forward for the first time, women sharing their story for the first time with their families, with their husbands. It was really such a humbling and such a motivating and empowering campaign that we ran. It really, really was. And I mean, those stories are all there on our Instagram and Facebook if anyone wants to go back and have a read. It's just, as women, we need to come together and share our stories and show people that we are strong, and that what happened to us, as you say, it's not what defines us. It's not our story. It's the start of our story. Say what happened to me on that day is what gave me a mission. It's what gave me a purpose. It's what gave me what I have today. And if that hadn't happened, none of this, I wouldn't have anything that I have today. So it enabled me to be able to start the foundation and help as many people as I possibly can.
Yeah, and I mean, even where you said you had an initiative where people could share what happened, and maybe they want to share anonymously, but still, the fact that they talk about it, the burden that they've been carrying, those weights. You release so many weights all over, not only KZN, but for them just being able to say, I know Jess's Instagram page, let me get this off my chest. I mean, that alone is creating space for people to be who they really want to be. Because when you carry the weight. Yeah, exactly, Jess. And I think it's still like mind-boggling that you've been doing this for 17 years, because I mean, even when I go and listen to you talk sometimes, you still got that energy and passion. I know it's not always that way because it's tough, but the thing is you keep showing up, Jess, and that's so important. I really want the community to continue getting behind initiatives like yours. I mean, like I always say, in terms of what we practice, I mean, we specialize in wills, and I mean, to give to a charity through a will is such a powerful thing to do. And it's not only for the rich to do. I mean, you can put a special bequest in your will to donate 1,000 Rand to Jes Foord Foundation. I mean, just something small like that with 100 people, you're getting a couple of thousand now making a difference. But even on the rich side, I mean, everything over 3.5 million is taxed at 20% for state duty tax. So from 3.5 to 4.5, you're giving 200,000 to SARS. But if you put a donation to a charity like yours, you can rather donate than pay tax. So why not, with advice obviously from professionals, structure your state if you're wealthy to kind of just say, I don't really want to pay all this tax. I'd rather give to Jes Foord Foundation. And I mean, we can help facilitate that. And that's our mission as well, is we put your name on our books as well to recommend to wealthy clients that, listen, you can give all the money to SARS, that's fine. But if you want to make an impact to someone in our community that's actually doing good work, why not give 100,000 Rand in your will to Jes Foord Foundation? Because then you're not going to be paying as much tax. So I mean, there's two options: pay to SARS or give to Jes Foord. You choose, but our
Jes Foord Foundation.
Jes Foord Foundation. Yeah, you have to be. Otherwise, Jes Foord's going to be driving a Range Rover. No, Jes Foord Foundation. But Jes, you see, so there are ways in which you can give. And I think people often underestimate the power of having a valid last will and testament. We hear a lot of clients saying, I'm not around, it doesn't really affect me. But remember that estate planning at its core is relationship planning. And if you plan well, you know that when you pass, your family are in good hands. And I think just having an up-to-date will also, again, builds confidence. Because a lot of people say, oh, I will get to my will, I'll update it. And I mean, we've had scary incidents where we say meeting a client on a Monday and they've delayed for months. And we had one last month where someone choked on a piece of meat and died. They were meant to sign the following day. So I know like this delaying thing is, but it's just important to say, okay, let's get it signed, let's get it sorted. But I also want to encourage people, put a special bequest in your will. Put 1,000 Rand to Jes Foord Foundation. If you're a wealthy client, rather not pay as much tax and give a donation, because the thing is that money goes to everything that you're doing, the handbag project, helps with the carnival, helps with the young men's mentorship. I think there's another one that you do as well, Jes, the schooling education.
So we do awareness campaigns where we go in and do our awareness to different ages of school kids. Obviously, the talk is tailored. The talk we give the 3-year-olds is very different to the talk we give the matrics. We also do first responders training. So it's teachers, it's police officers, it's nurses. So anybody who's going to deal with a rape victim straight away. And a lot of schools have been doing it, which has been wonderful and not only are the teachers doing it, but the cleaning staff are doing it and the ground staff are doing it, because if something happens at a school and it happens in the bathroom, the cleaning staff might be the first person to see them. So it's very important for these people to know what to do and how to fill in all the correct forms and what to say, what to not say, things like that. And the amount of people who, for example, don't even know what a Tutuzela Center is. And I mean, that is the only place you can go in South Africa if you have been sexually assaulted. You have to go to a Tutuzela Center to be examined, because the district surgeon or the district nurse will then stand in court for you. If you go to a private hospital, they're not going to go and stand in court for you, because court processes are delayed and they don't want to give up their precious time because it's money. It's so important for people to know where to go. And for the people in the Upper Highway area, the closest Tutuzela centers for us is RK Khan or Edendale in Maritzburg. But that is something we're working very hard on, is having our own Tutuzela center in the Upper Highway area, because there is nowhere for people to go in the Upper Highway area.
Jes, I remember you saying, so also like if you're donating to your foundation, a lot of people that are in, say, a township and they get sexually abused, they don't have money to drive to these centers because it's far. And like you said before, it's either a loaf of bread or we report this.
100%. And then they're not getting the care they need. So we're ending up with a ridiculous amount of people contracting HIV unnecessarily. It could have been prevented. And it's a lot of unwanted pregnancies, especially amongst young girls, because they're too scared to say anything. They don't know where to go. They can't afford the taxi fare. It's 2 taxis to get from any of the surrounding townships to RK Khan. 2 taxis at 48 Rand per taxi per way. So that's 4 taxis at 48 Rand. They're not spending that money. So we're ending up with orphans. We're ending up with HIV. It's a horrible, horrible situation that we are in with in South Africa. So we work with ER24. If somebody is raped and they need to get to a Tutuzela center, they can contact us and we will send an ambulance to collect them and take them through to a Tutuzela center. So we're doing everything we can until we are able to have our own Tutuzela center in the Upper Highway area.
So if anyone in a position like that and something's happened, they can even just Google Jes Foord Foundation, get your number, then give you a call.
100%. But when we repost this live, I will also in the comments, I'll put our emergency line in.
Okay, perfect. So that's going to be good. And I mean, Jes, I think that there's so much that you've done, but I mean, it seems like the time has just flown. But I also, on our end, we're doing what we can to help make a difference.
And
really I think it's just about everyone in the community just doing something small, because 3,000 people at a carnival the first time you've done it.
Yeah.
That shows you that if each of us just do a little bit, how much impact we can have.
Yeah.
And the importance of those events for your foundation, Jes, to have funding. I mean, it's quite sad to hear about the handbags. We need to really push for that as well. I mean, 250 Rand donation to get a handbag done. It's not a lot for the impact that that has.
Yeah. I mean, the staff of Standard Bank last week rallied together, and because we didn't have the stock either.
Yeah.
And they rallied together and they gave us actually 20,000 Rand to be able to go and buy stock. And that's the staff. That's not Standard Bank. That's the staff.
Yeah.
So it's incredible to see again a community coming together to help. So we went from no bags and no contents to having all of the contents. We just now need people to donate the bags.
Yeah.
So,
I think, Jes, from our side, we will be donating 10 bags worth. So we'll donate 2,500 Rand just to start the initiative. And I really want to encourage other listeners and especially business owners to maybe just donate something small to help with this bag initiative. Because I know that if I was ever in a position where that had happened to me and something comforting like that just started, it kind of can change the course of the way your mentality is. And it also shows that you're not forgotten.
Exactly.
That someone's thinking of you.
Exactly. I mean, with the kiddies, with their bag, we put a soft toy in every bag. And when the kids come back for counseling and when we go to court with them, they've always got their teddy with them. It's so empowering to see these kiddies, to know that it's not a waste of time. These bags are, they're doing good because these kiddies clutch onto their bags. I mean, they're teddies. It really is very, very special. And I just want to mention there very quickly, Spoo.
Yes.
Spoo, who's my partner at the foundation.
He's awesome, by the way.
Yes, he is. He's just commented there that I must also just mention that we do offer our counseling in both Zulu and English. So we do offer counseling in both languages. It's obviously
very important. Have you seen the next comment, Jes?
Miss Moo pledges. Oh, wow, thank you, Marsh. Wow.
Thank you so much,
incredible.
Miss Moo.
Miss Moo, you're amazing. Miss Moo, thank you so much. And Dan, thank you for everything. You honestly, your passion for what we do. And I mean, to see a male doing something like this is just, it's so special to know that there are so many good men out there, and what you and your company have done for us is just, it's really, we are so grateful. Thank you for everything, honestly.
You know what I always think? I always have the view that we often limit how much we are able to do because of maybe our experience in life. But once you start to give, you kind of see the world open up. And that's why I always try and help where we can. And also just the history with your foundation, like your passion as well. I was asked I had a meeting yesterday, and the one client said, like, when does the honeymoon phase for your business end? And I said, you know what the thing is, like, when you've got a passion and a purpose for something, there's no honeymoon phase. It's a lifelong journey. It's a slow burn. And we'll just go through moments where we might not have as much energy, but the passion is always there. So the honeymoon, there is no such thing. And I think it's the same on your side, Jes. I mean, just from this discussion, we maybe opened some doors, we provided some light, and you've got 3,500 Rand towards the handbag project in addition to Standard Bank.
That's incredible.
So I think, Jes, thank you so much as well.
No, thank you.
For everything you're doing. I'm looking forward to the carnival again.
Yes.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Wait to see everyone there. Let's see if we can get 4,000 people.
Sure. But I think, Jes, let's keep going. And like I said, on our side, with the world side, it's such an incredible way to give back.
And I think it's so lovely that even though you have passed, it's a way to continue your legacy and to be able to make a difference even after you're gone.
And also make a difference in a community you were a part of. And you know what's really cool about giving in that way is that you can't get thanks for it. Some people only,
and I think that's the most special way to give, is when you're giving for nothing in return. So we're encouraging people, but Miss Moonels, thank you so much for the pledge. Jes, like I said, on our end, we're going to donate 2,500 Rand. But Jes, all the best. We'll chat soon. I appreciate you coming on this live. Thank you.
Have an awesome
We'll see
Friday
you at the
and weekend.
carnival. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Cheers,
Thanks
Jes.
so much, hey.
Bye.
Bye.